ought to know and learn the objectives of the great fraternity and the great history and legacy that you're a part of. And take back to your fellow brothers what you've learned here and how much this fraternity really means and really is. I believe in Theta Chi. Its traditions and its ideals. I coached at the University of Tennessee for Johnny Majors the year before that I got into the National Football League. And I promised my wife, we just celebrated our 35th wedding anniversary last Monday. And it's probably not her choice, it's all mine. But we celebrated our anniversary, and I told her at one time, well, sometimes I guess you come out with a few white lies. I said, don't ever worry about going east of the Mississippi. We'll never go that far east. We'll always be in the West Coast somewhere. Well, we end up in Tennessee. I know nothing about Tennessee other than it's in the South somewhere. Knoxville, Tennessee. Johnny Majors, every day in our staff meeting, said something about the University of Tennessee or the state of Tennessee. In about 6 months, boy, I knew what the orange was. I knew the Coon-Tick Hound. I knew General Nayland. I knew who was in the Civil War in the North and the South. I could sing Rocky Top, every single word of Rocky Top. I was so proud of being a part of the University of Tennessee. And I coached at the University of Southern California for several years and the University of California for several years. And in 6 months, I knew more about the University of Tennessee, and I appreciated the football history and tradition, the history and tradition of the university, and the history and tradition of that state. And what I'm trying to tell you is, the more you learn about Theta Chi, the more you learn about your fraternity, the more you learn about its traditions and its ideals, the more you can appreciate how fortunate you are to be in this great organization. And it's your obligation to have a plan to go back and tell your brothers what it's all about. It's not going to happen unless you do it. And that's why you're here. And that's why you're in these meetings. I believe in Theta Chi, its traditions and its ideals. Born of sturdy manhood, nurtured by resolute men. Now think about that one. Have a plan, hire good people. Born, think about it. Born of sturdy manhood, nurtured by resolute men. Those are the kind of guys you want in your fraternity. When you go out and pledge and you go out and recruit guys to come into the fraternity, it might not be the best athlete in the school. It might not be the best looking guy in the school. Who cares about that stuff? Don't ever subjugate yourself to somebody with lesser values than you. It's about values. Surround yourself with good people. Now, not everybody's going to be the greatest citizen and all that kind of stuff, but that's part of what is your obligation, is to teach those guys who are younger than you what Theta Chi is all about and what it means to be a Theta Chi. Don't ever, ever, ever shortchange somebody that comes to your rush party because he's not an athlete, because he's not a great-looking guy. Hey, it's about values and it's about character. Make sure that you get in the house good people that have great character and great values, because that's the legacy of this organization and this fraternity. Show them that you care. Hard work. Those were the other two tenets that Dick has. You think about hard work. Go back and work hard to do what you're obligated to do. Have a plan, bring in good pledges, and work hard. It's not going to get done unless you do it. And nobody else can do it. It's not going to be done unless you do it. Probably the favorite part for me of our creed really is the second paragraph. It inspires true friendship, teaches truth, temperance, and tolerance, extols virtue, exacts harmony, and extends a helping hand to all who seek it. Are you kidding me? Friendship and extending a helping hand to all who seek it. You think about that. We give the Pledge of, we talk about the Pledge of Allegiance, we sing the national anthem, we say the Lord's Prayer. How many times do you really, really think about the words in those things that you do, sometimes maybe even on a daily basis? I challenge you to read the Creed of Theta Chi, not just recite it. You read it and you look at those words. Talk about hard work. Talk about showing someone that you care. Inspires true friendship. Extend a helping hand to all who seek it. I could sit up here and talk about some of my brothers. I've been in Larry Malone, head of the United Methodist Men's Ministry of the entire United States, called and asked me to speak at a convention for 4,500 Christian men about dealing with children and dealing with people and mentoring adults. Could talk about Steve Austin, retired colonel, 20-year military man in the Marine Corps, 2 tours of Vietnam, Purple Heart, highly decorated. Calls and has a son who has just got a job in New York City. My son happens to be in New York City. He just got a master's degree from Columbia, looking for a roommate. Talk about Sandy Fish, 62 years old, worked for Meredith Corporation, was the head of marketing for Parents Magazine and Good Housekeeping. Just got let go in his job, 62 years old. He was going to retire at 65. Could talk about Larry Studel. Called and he's working with some of the Olympic athletes. He has a pharmaceutical